All right. Hello, and welcome to my survey results for my technology assignment. Starting off, so simple question just to see who I'm working with here with my data. As you see, it's kind of a wide range between 4th and 7th grade. Um, there is one person who does teach 8th grade, but they teach 3 different subjects. Now, majority of people though looks like teach 5th grade. So we're kind of dealing with this 5th grade area here. Now, some of the subjects that we see are a little bit of ELA, social studies, a lot of math in here, and then there's one person who does special education, but they also do math and ELA with their special education. So we kind of have a wide variety here, which is super nice for our data because we get a huge range to figure out what exactly we're seeing with technology. So, my first question for all of these people who took my survey was, how often do you use technology in the classroom? And as you can see, about 30% of the people said they use it all the time. So, 1 being not at all, 10 being all the time. So, a good chunk of it is a lot of people are using technology within their classrooms. And there are a couple people, if you notice, that are 4 and 5. So, some use it moderately, and someone really doesn't use it as much. But majority of people use technology in their rooms. Now, this question was, what type of technologies do you use within your classrooms? As you can see, there's an overwhelming amount of student computers, which makes sense. Google Classroom, educational programs like Khan Academy, IXL, items like that help the students. One of the things that I found really interesting, though, was AI tools. So I threw that in there just to see if other teachers are using AI tools with their students. And about 4 of the people went and are using AI tools with their kids. Now, I wish I knew exactly which ones they were using because I think that would have been really cool to see. But letting their kids interact with AI tools is something that is really cool since it's evolving more and more. And there is one person, a little bit of an outlier here, that uses iPads instead of computers, which is kind of something that maybe they're in a different district where they don't have computers yet for everyone. And that might be something that why they're using iPads. Now, question 5 is, how would you rate the overall effectiveness of technology in supporting student learning in your classroom? As you can see, majority of the people put that technology is really effective within their classroom. Helping the students along with their lessons, helping them learn the material that they're supposed to be learning. But there's 2 people who kind of disagree with that. One person's in the middle, but there's one person who's kind of not agreeing. Like, technology isn't that great for the kids, which is a good opinion to have because it could be true. Studies may be coming out. Question 6, to what level do you believe that technology increases student engagement with your room? So, as you can see, there's a nice little chart here. 50% of our people think it's a good amount, right in the middle. There's 30% of the people that think it's a great amount. And there's 10% that think it's all the time. Now, we do have that 10%. It might be that same person from last question that it's just a small amount that it increases student engagement. Now, upcoming is some of the challenges, and I'll kind of go a little bit further into maybe what this person was talking about. But this is very nice to see that technology really engages the students. Now, here's a question I think is important for when we do technology, is how do you evaluate whether technology is effective or not within the classroom? So, things such as students' performance on assessments, student engagement, assignment completion, teacher observation, student feedback, and quality of student work. These are options that they could have picked. They may have picked them, they may not have. As you can see, the one that was most picked was teacher observation, which is good because teachers need to see what their kids are working on and how effective it is for them. Now, student performance on assessments, student engagement, and quality of work was the second best thing that people are looking for when they're seeing if technology is effective in their room. Now, assignment completion is something that they really didn't look for, which to me makes sense in a way because technology shouldn't be based off of if a student completed an assignment or not, which I agree with. Now, this is where I think it opens up the floor for people, and these were kind of some of the points that they brought up. So, what was the biggest challenge when you incorporate technology within your classroom? One of them is distraction, which makes sense. I mean, it's online technology, it's getting out there, but distraction is a big concern with the kids, because they want to make sure that it's nothing that will hurt them and distract them from what they're supposed to be doing. Another person put that they were afraid of the students not being able to retain that information because of the distractions, which is a very reasonable concern because it makes sense. Now, other things is like students try to find shortcuts when it comes to certain assignments. Maybe it's a math assignment or maybe it's a reading assignment. They try to find a shortcut to it instead of actually putting in the work, which is something that we can monitor as teachers. Now, this is someone, I think, coming from a math perspective. Students may not show work or write down the information for an assignment. So, and I can see that too because I also am a math teacher. And I see that sometimes when we use online programs, they may solve it in their head, something, and then they don't even write it down, which we always want the students to show their work. So I can see that issue appearing even in my room. A big one that I saw was internet issues. Internet issues is something that is really big. When when something's down, then it can ruin your whole lesson. But that's something that we can plan for in the future. Now, last one is understanding directions. This one was a kind of a nice one to see because sometimes because we have technology, students may just instantly like, oh, look at this assignment, blah, blah, blah. But then they go and they don't hear the directions because they're looking at what they're seeing on the screen, which is something that a teacher can control using a different strategy maybe. But I like that point that they brought that up. Now, this was our last question. In your planning experience, what is an important factor when considering using technology into your classroom? One of it was, does it enhance student learning? Showed up a lot, which I really liked because that's true. Why would I pick something that's not going to help my students? So, kind of going off of that, is it beneficial for students' learning outcome? So, am I picking something that's going to help them get to the goal that I want, to my learning objective? Or am I just doing something for fun, Now, the next is making sure students are using technology in an appropriate manner. Making sure that we're talking through with them, It's important because some kids do abuse the technology. And that's where we have that talk and that discussion of the digital skills and digital world around us and what they need to know and what they should do. And finally, our last thing was wanting to not have students on technology all day. This was something that I saw a couple times. I think there's kind of some controversy going around that technology has been hurting kids. And this teacher brought this point up, which I thought was a really good point to bring up because we're in an age of technology and maybe, we're still into it and this new generation is sticking on technology all day long. So maybe it's something that may be hurting them, but we don't know yet because we haven't seen the full studies. So this wraps up my overall data for my technology survey. Thank you for listening and have a good rest of your day.